Hi guys. How are you? Happy Thursday. Oof, we have a lot to go over today. And it's not a bad oof. It's just going to be a little bit unorganized, I guess. There's so many Torta products that hit Sweetie Nail Supply. I'm going to try and show you differences between them, what's available to you. There's different collections, and there's kind of something for everyone. So there's bottled gels, there's pots, there's inks, etc. So we're just going to do an overview today to give you an idea of what the different collections look like. Hope you guys have had a good week. So this is an idea. So this is potted gel. This is some of the inks. This is one of the potted cat eye. This is one of the potted gels. This is one of the potted gels and another one of their potted gels in some color. Another one of the potted gels. Inks, a different type of cat eye, a bottled cat eye. These are both bottled for those who prefer bottles. And this is also a pot. And there's so many things that you can do with them, right? All right, so this is a combination of one of the cat eyes, one of the pots, and the inks. Okay, so let's just have a play, and I'll go through the different collections with you. You guys can ask any questions. Probably the easiest to go through first might be some of the bottles. Okay, so there are two cat eye collections that are in bottles. Here, let me move some of this away. All right, so, and I even made notes because there's so many different collections and they're all called different things. I think this is Kohaku. So these are a fiery cat eye. There's 1, 2, 3. You can see them, okay? So they are like fine gold flash powder mags. And I'll show you, that is like this one right here. So let me just show you real quick. Let's do the one that is orange. Have you guys picked up any of these yet? Do you see what I mean? It's like sheer almost, but it's got like this fiery, fizzy. Look at that. Ooh, so pretty. And these are all available individually. There is one collection that is already sold out, but I'm going to show you so you can click that remind me or notify me when it comes back in. And they're really pretty. If you guys follow Cranberry Nail, she is one of the creators of Torta, or she is the creator of Torta. She shows it a lot. See what I mean? It's so flashy, beautiful. I mean, so shimmery and fiery. They are absolutely gorgeous. So the payoff with these is going to be really immediate, like really, really, really pretty. Okay. And there's one that's a little bit more golden than this orange. And then also the reddish toned one, but those are the three in that collection. And I'll show you what I did to it with another product to finish off this nail. We'll do that in a minute. The other ones that are in like a bottle are called Night Flash Mag, and there's 10 of those. All right, and they are super vibrant. Okay, so that is this pink that I used right here. And I'll show you like a blue or aqua green, etc. Like they are all really bright. Just so you can see. All right, and they has, let me see if you guys can see that. Has very, very small holographic like glitter in there. And they are flash too. Not that I've taken any pictures of them with flash photography because it doesn't even need to. You see how fine that is? The sparkling holographic glitters in there. So these are like candy colored. There are 10 of them. So if there's a color that you are missing from your collection or you want a vibrant, these remind me of like summer, spring and summer vibrance. I like these candy colored cat eyes sometimes, right? And then there's a bunch of pots. Like, see how beautiful that is? Just with one like side pull, like they're absolutely gorgeous. So pretty. Very, very reactive, as you can see. All right. So there's that baby. So that is the night flash magnets. I mean, they are beautiful. Because I love all these collections that are created by nail artists. I feel like they know exactly what we need, right? They're so special. All right, so let me get these off the table because we need room today, guys. And if I spill an ink, you know I'll be crying, right? So these are the night flash. Let me show you these colors though real quick because here's the 10. All right, so you start with like a silver, and then there's a purpley pink, a red, a yellow, a light like olive green, an aqua, a purple, a blue, and then a blue purple. That is night flash, okay? All right. Oh! You knew it was gonna happen, you guys. They're sturdy too. All right, and here are the 3 of the ones that I just showed you. The Kohaku. Here are those 3 colors. Ready? See, so you have a light orange, a medium orange, and then a reddish orange. Those are those 3 that we already did. Okay, so moving those out of the way. All right, now there's also like a prism mist. All right, and those are like Sparkle Mags, 1 coat. I'll show you. Prism mist, and they all have like their names. All right, kind of start with the letters on here. Here it is. So Prism Mist. This one's really super sparkly too, so let me show you. Is anyone on here getting into pots? I mean, I hope so, because we're bringing in lots of pots to Sweetie Nail Supply. And the thing is, they look like, oh, look, it's so tiny or whatever. You use so little from a pot. Like, this looks like molten gold. Look at that. I mean, they are beautiful. I'll show you the colors for these too. I had to just bring out a few things from each one just so you guys could see them. Because there's too much to put out on the desk, honestly. If you guys see my behind the scenes, I work in like a really small area because I love having things out on my desk. Like if I see it, then I grab it and I use it. So it's kind of a problem because I run out of room really quickly. But just to show you, I mean, you want a bright gold? Look at this. And you know a cat eye is amazing when like not even activated, it looks twinkly and beautiful like this. Right now, I think I grabbed a Meet You applicator brush. You have to go on Sweetie Nail Supply. They're available individually and in collections, if the full collection's available. I do not remember if there's differences between all the different collections, so you'd have to go on and check. Okay, but look at this. Look how bright you're going to get these to be. Remember, you can layer these over top a syrup. If you're playing with your cat eye and you want it to be a little bit more opaque underneath, definitely use a syrup. You still want some light to get through these gorgeous cat eyes. So it's fine to use like a syrup underneath. Don't usually ever add like a solid color underneath a cat eye unless you're playing with black and something that's so sheer, but they're really, really beautiful. So sparkly, so many options. Okay, let me cure that one. Absolutely gorgeous. So that's Prism Mist. All right, and then we have Silk, and you guys might really love these because they're really, really, really versatile, okay? So Silk is going to look like this. There's only 3 of them, and they are really, really, really silky smooth. All right. If you have a new pot and you haven't played with it for a while, make sure you give it a stir before you put it on the nail. Grab a different application brush just because that other one's super glittery. All right. Let's do this silky one. We can use some of these as bases for art because you know we got to do the art. And I will definitely play with those inks. So the thing about Torta inks, guys, they are alcohol inks through and through. So if you've been looking for some alcohol inks, okay, definitely these are going to be an option for you. 100%. You see how sheer this is. Like it is going to be super, super sheer. It's going to give you a really fine silky cat eye pull. And these are great for embellishing later, right? It's going to give you the cat eye underneath, but also it's going to allow us to paint or whatever you do on top. And it's not going to really interfere with that. It's very subtle. Okay, so you see what I mean? Like a really fine, silky cat eye. Excuse me. I think that was Deacon eating a blueberry bush and my husband yelling at him and forgetting that I'm live. Sorry. Hello from France. Hello. Bonjour. So this is what I mean. When sometimes you want a cat eye, but you want it to be super, super subtle, you're going to use a silky cat eye, okay? Because we want to paint flowers on top of this. She does a lot of flower work, a lot of flowers. She's a ball. And I'm going to show you what she uses for that. She uses her pots. There are 3 pots in the collections, and you'll see them. It's like a white, a red, and a black, and they are super pigmented pots. Super pigmented. So those are used for flowers, of course, and we'll do some. Maybe we'll put some inks on top like I showed you that one nail. I lost my tiny ball, so I'm not sure where that is, but we're going to cure that for right now. You get the idea. Silky ones are going to be the silk magnets. There's 3 to choose from. Okay, if I move that, let me show you the other 2. Okay. Here are the 3 silk magnets. So you see they're very neutral in the base colors. All right. And then they have that slight silky cat eye. You see that? So a silver, a nude, and a pink. All right, so those are the silk mags. Oh, let me show you. I told you I'd show you the other colors of the prism mags. Here you go. Here you go. All right, let's put that one, that gold, back in here. Where is it? I swear I had it on the table. Here it is. All right, here are the Prism Mag colors. So you have a silver, the gold, a copper, a pink, and you have a different type of pink. So this one's a little bit more purple. All right, and this one is pink, green, purple, and blue. All right, so those are the Prism Mags. All right, there's your options there. So many options. All right, and then there's also a crystal drop. All right, CD crystal drop. These are absolutely beautiful too. And these are going to look really good matte. Okay, so let's use them. And then we'll get into the regular pots, the regular potted colors, and the inks too. Oh my gosh, we're crowding up in here, guys. Crowding the lamp. All right, let me move those out of the way. All right, and here is this one. I still see some bubbles, so I feel like it's fine. Do you see it has like a slight twinkling effect? So the crystal drop, and let's see what happens here when we pull it. So it's going to be a soft, silky, again, it's going to be a silky pull, but it has a little bit more twinkle in it than the pure silk, for good reason. Move it over there. I do see the almost aura like shine underneath there too. It's like got a little bit of, I think you can see it. See the pink floating in the clear like jelly type base. So these are going to give a different kind of shine. 100%. Really, really pretty. And there, I think there's 5 of these. Yeah, there are 5 different colors. All right, I'll cover that. All right, let me show you the other colors of the crystal drop. Which one is this? Oh, I picked up one. Okay. So here's the other colors from that one. And they're not in a box. Like, listen, some of these do not come in like, you know, the fancy packaging, but they're all beautiful. So this is 2. They come well sealed, right, in their wrap. This one is 3. Do you see this one has like a little bit more of an orangey shine to it? This is the turquoise. This is 4. Trying to not do all blue nails, you guys. I do that to you all the time. And then this is blue. Very, very silky, very, very pretty. You can do 1 or 2 coats, up to you, but you can get away with 1 on all of these. Okay. So let's move into like some of the potted collections. So one of them is definitely, they're really, really pretty. They're called Smoky Pastels. So this is going to be your milky series. So if you want to use a potted gel for a milky type feel, this is this one right here. Okay. And they are all beautiful pastel colors, starting with like a coral, a yellow, a light mint, a dark mint, the blue, and the purple. This is going to be your pastel, smoky pastel series. We will use, let's use a purple one this time. See what I mean? Like a milky, soft, milky. Let me wipe this off. Making a mess over here with my brushes, which I didn't mean to do. Hold on, give me 1 second. If you guys watch me enough, you do know that I love inks. I love all inks, right? I think they all are amazing. I'm also very excited that Sweetie Nail Supply is bringing in alcohol inks because they're a little bit more versatile than the water inks. So I really love that. Let me show you this milky pastel. And we're going to do a design on here. We're going to lay down one coat, and then I'm going to talk to you about her Perfect White, which is perfect for making florals. See how soft and milky that is? It's not streaky at all. Turn this around. My hand is hitting other little nail blanks and all right, so we are just going to cure this real quick. And then we're going to talk about that white. If I missed any questions at all, please hit me up again, okay? So this is what I mean. So they're called perfect color. So there is a white, there is a black, and there is a red. They look like this. These are highly pigmented pots, okay? So you're going to use the tiniest bit, okay? Very, 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 very small. Hi, Joey. So very, very little amount because they're super pigmented and you want it to cure, right? So do not lay these on heavy, these three, all right? But the white is basically all you need for flowers. We're going to layer some flowers real quick. You can use whatever brush you want to play with flowers. You can use a petal brush. I am going to use Sweetie Nail Supply's petal brush. It's like a tiny petite petal brush. All right. Definitely a great brush. They also have base coat. They have a texture gel. Like there's all kinds of options. So this is their petal brush. Okay, I'm just going to use that. And I am going to use the tiniest amount, like right off that edge, right? I do not need much at all. And we are going to do some flowers. We're going to do flowers on a couple different things so I can show you different ways to do them. All right, so we're just going to do, I like to do a 5-petal flower usually. See how little you need, like tiny, tiny, tiny bits. It's really pigmented. All right. But you do need a brush that grabs some gel when you're doing flowers, right? But you don't have to be precise, especially with these first petals, because we're going to cover them up. Okay. We're just going to cover them up. We're going to cure it. And we're going to go over it with the lavender color again. What number is that? That is 6 out of the pastel, the smoky pastels. So in addition to these, if you're like a pot girl and you like all pots, she has a bunch of different nudes. And there is a sheer skin, which are like totally sheer nudes, okay? And then there's natural series, which are more like what you're probably thinking about with a milky nude. So this is a sheer. Okay, just to give you an idea. We can even wipe it off. All right. This is sheer. You see how nice and sheer you could get this? Like almost like clear. I think I have some of that lavender in here, but it is going to be a clear nude. All right, so that is sheer skin. Those are sheer nude colors. And then the natural series is going to be more your milky nudes. So let me show you that. Okay, this is the natural nude, which is going to be a little bit more milky. I do love how pots last. They last for so long. So this one's going to be a little bit more milky. You see the difference? Clear, milky. So when picking your nudes, you could use whichever ones you prefer. Do you prefer it to be like almost clear, or do you prefer it to be like a milky color? Up to you. Oh yeah, I do want to show you that too. Hold on one second. Okay. So let's do the purple right over top. We're going to do another coat. I'm going to take this top off. You don't have to keep these tops on, guys. They're well sealed pots, okay? Sometimes I do when I'm swatching them, but I don't always keep those on there. Don't fear, just keep your pots away from light while they're open. All right. But we're going to put this on top of that. Right on top. And you see they're so soft. You're still going to see the light flowers, but it's not going to cover them up. It's just going to give them a hint of lavender. And then we're going to cure and go over in certain areas the white. Again, that's it. Just build up layers with those flowers. You could do this with any of the Smoky Pastel series and the Perfect Color White. And you'll see those listed individually, the white, the red, and the black. I'm sorry, when people request to be in the live, we don't add you to them. We will save this. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm Lauren. I am Inspo by Nails on here. And if you have questions afterwards or wish you to ask something, please know that you can always DM me and I'm happy to answer. Let me see what this is. Oh, this is our smoky. Oh, I need to show you those two. Okay. Okay. Then we'll get to the inks. I know people are excited about those too because they're beautiful. All right, so let's go back in with some white again, just the little tiniest amount. All right. Maybe like here. So some will be a little bit more white, some will be a little bit lighter. All right. It doesn't even have to be all of them if you don't want. Guys, I think with flowers, a good rule is don't overthink it, okay? Just do some loose petals. You'll like them, I promise. You just have to be a little bit free with it. All right. We're just going to do that. Cure it. Add a little bit more white. Now for the blue one that I was showing you guys, this one, I just took a few flakes from Guerra and put them in the center. Could do that. You guys saw these. We went live with these. So just take a few little delicate little flakes and put those in there. Everyone loves a good flake, right? So pretty. I just need a tiny touch. These are sticky, right? So we can just stick a few little flakes on there. In the meantime, here, let me cap this. Oh, and I want to show you that too. Okay. Don't want to forget. All right, so there is another collection that is sold out. All right. But I do think you might want this when it comes back in. So this collection is called Snow Blossom. And what's so cool about it is they are pots that already have your flakes, your glitters, all of that in there. You see that? All right, so that's already in your potted gel. So this is going to look beautiful on the nail just naturally. It's going to give you a beautiful background for florals. All right, you see that? Lush. So yeah, these went first. I think all of them are sold out, Snow Blossom. But there's five. I think there's 5 of them. You can click that notify me. Thank you, Art of Athletics. I'm glad you appreciate it. I feel like these are good to come back to. So, and that's what Sweetie Nail Supply is amazing at doing. So we're going to save it. I'll save it to my wall, their wall. But they also flip it over to YouTube for easier playback. But that way, if you're like, I know I saw this, but I can't remember the details, at least we're giving you some more specifics about these products that are coming in, like how you could use them. Of course, there's no, like you guys, you do you, right? Use them however you love to use products. However, this will give you just kind of an overview, I hope. I know about the bank account. This is definitely true. I'm just putting a few little, you see, a little tiny bit of Guerra flakes in here. Oh, that is way too big a piece. Hold on. Like, we don't need that. All right. I'm actually just using the brush that I used for the petals. I just want some of this in here, okay? Tappity, tap, tap, tap. And now all it needs is a top coat. They have a beautiful top coat. I'll show you. Okay, they have base coats, they have a mixing gel, like it's all there, guys, all there. Oh, shoot, and you know what else I forgot to show you? The botanical series. Oh, here, let's do that real quick. Hold on. Before we top coat this, let's put a little botanical gel on there. So they are very, this is one I feel like maybe the pictures on the website are not exactly the same. These are definitely a yellow greenish series of colors, like this, like olive greens. Okay. So when you're playing with pots, and you've seen me do this before, you can melt pots into one another while they're wet, and just dab colors together and let them do their thing. It's one of the coolest things about Japanese potted gels. But if we wanted to do like just a touch of greenery on this, just a tiny, tiny bit, go to your green pots, okay? And we're not going to get fancy here. This is pretty loose. These flowers are pretty loose. But let's say we wanted just a hint. Go to your greens. All right. Then cure. Then we'll top. But they're definitely yellow greens. Okay, and there are 5, I believe, in that series too. That is called the Botanical series. Okay. Where's the yellow? Here it is. So if you love like yellow greens, this is the Botanical series. All right. And then, I want to show you this too. Have a look. The variety, guys. The variety that you guys can find, right? It's crazy. It's totally crazy. So cool. All right, let's use this one just so you can see the botanical series. I mean, this is the snow blossom, sorry. Sold out. But I want you to see. I think you can see that. See all those little bits of goodness in there? Yum. All right. And it's just going to kind of melt into the gel. So you could do 2 coats of this and have like a perfect glittery bits and pieces nail. 100%. Oh, so cute. I like when they're built in, right? Little pieces of holographic foils and glitters, and way more complicated if we had to do that ourselves, right? So just use the gel. That's 1 coat. And they'll be back, so just click that notify me button, then you'll know when it comes back. All right. I want to do some embellishment here. All right, so top coat. And you'll have a sweet little floral pastel for spring with that milky lavender base. Another thing that I love about pots so much is that you can use the tiniest amount. You don't need to build up color when you're doing florals and things like that. So your nail is already nice and even. You do not need to overlay it, you know? They just work so well for these types of looks. All right. I don't know why my nail is, look, it's like sitting on there cockeyed. Whatever. You guys don't mind, right? You know it's live. Things happen. Do a second coat here so you can see this. Apparently I'm shedding today. All right, it's just going to build it up all the more a little bit. All right, but you could use this in 1 coat or 2. But these kinds of gels are pretty cool. You could do little flowers on top of that. I'll show you the example that I did. But I want to show you the flowers with ink, so we're going to move on. Because you guys know I love you. And I don't know how it's 20 of already. How have we been on here for 40 minutes? I don't know. Doesn't feel like it. First of all, before we get into that other one, I want to show you what I did with that orange to make it like a party fiesta nail, because these are also at Sweetie Nail Supply. I don't know if you guys know this. I'm going to guess yes, but who knows? So did you guys see the Mayan Bee glitters? Okay, so these are the reflection glitters. Okay, these are 2 of them anyway. This is 18 and this is 21. All I did to make this nail like really funky was use some reflection glitter. You see, this is what they look like. Okay. They are jam-packed. It's actually what's on my nails right now. It's the reflection glitter. So you can see that it has like all kinds of bits and pieces, and it also has those ones that look kind of like water bubbles, like type things in them. So just take out what you want. All right, like this. Pat it into the nail. And some of them are quite chunky. If you don't want that, take it off. But you can move these around wherever you want, all right? You can manipulate them to wherever you want them to be, all right? But instantly, all right, you can see they're not sticking up too much. All right, you would use a nice viscosity top coat on this, but let's cure it. I didn't want to show you that because they are really versatile. There are 12 colors, 12 different ones you can choose from. And they are all gorgeous. This is the second set of this collection. So there's Reflection 1 and this is Reflection 2. So Reflection 2 has arrived and they are fun, fun, fun. All right. Whoop. Almost knocked over an ink. Good thing that they were closed. All right. So Reflection. I need to show you that because with those vibrant cat eyes, ooh, they go really, really, really well. All right, so let's take this one, for example, because it's like the softest shine. Let's do some really basic flowers. And then it's going to be ready for when we put some inks on them, okay? And by basic, I mean like basic. Not even really petal-ish. Like kind of like a 5-flower. Right, like that. Basic. Oh, that's way too much. Need just a very, very tiny amount of the perfect color. Like it's called perfect color white, perfect color black, perfect color red. All right, let's say this is a 3. And what we're going to do is matte this puppy and come back to it. I feel like I missed some comments. Did I miss some comments? We're just doing little spots of white because we're going to put ink on them in a little bit. Okay? So you see the cat eye zooming around there. That's just one of the silkies, okay? So it's very non-distracting. Still really pretty, but it's not distracting. The brush name, this is Sweetie Nail Supply's Petal Brush. This is number 5. Okay, so great for quick flowers. All right, let's get into the inks because we're going to use it on that too. First of all, these are alcohol inks, okay? You can tell by looking at alcohol inks, they all look like this. Like, oh, what is that, black? Is that dark? Like, what's that sheer liquid? Even the green, okay? These are alcohol inks, all right? There is a white, but very vibrant, and they look amazing on a matte top coat. But these are very flexible. They actually work on a wiped inhibition layer too, so let me show you that. When you have inks, sure. When you have inks and you're not sure how they work, one of the best ways to test them is find a white nail and try it on a wiped layer. Try it on matte. And you usually are going to need at least a gel cleanser to move them. If an ink has a clear blender, I do highly suggest you purchase it. That means it works well with their inks to blend the colors. This does not. So what I played with was alcohol, acetone, and gel cleanser. Okay, so I just did a bunch of tests. I'm going to put some matte on this one. Let's do that. Let's put some matte on this one. so I can show you a little bit of the difference. And the one that's sitting on the table is just, what do you call it? Just wiped, okay? All right. So when you play with inks, yes, you do want to shake them, right? These don't have balls in them because there is no pigment in there, okay? So we're not shaking anything up. Like you guys know with the Favorite, like Lipidos, I mean, up to here on the bottle is like pigment powders, okay? These are just alcohol, like straight up alcohol inks, okay? So you don't have to do that, all right? Let me show this. Let's take this purple real quick. When you're playing with them, you still want to remove most of the excess ink off your brush, okay? You don't need to flood the nail, all right, to have something pretty happen on the nail, all right? This, remember, is not matte, so this is just on a wiped inhibition layer. Now, I'm going to use acetone, and I'm going to get a chunky brush. When you're playing with inks, you usually need like a chunky brush, right? So this is like a 3000 round craft brush, right? It needs to be able to handle taking some acetone on it, all right, when you're playing with alcohol inks. And you always need a paper towel, because once you get that acetone on your brush, you do have to go and drop off some on the paper towel. You do not want to flood the nail with that. You see how it removes almost all of it, right? Let's do another color. All right. If we wanted to, we could remove this entire thing just by taking some acetone and wiping the nail. All right. If you want to have more time in playing with these, you need to put it on a matte top coat, and I'll show you the difference. Let's do the orange. But there's no right or wrong, guys. You can do it, you can play with it however you like, all right? See that color? All right, it's going to take longer to dry if it's not on matte. Matte is going to suck the pigment in. This is not, all right? So you see how it almost just erases the whole thing? That is because it's not on a matte top coat. All right, you might want that for certain looks, but lots of times if you're trying to marble, the best bet is going to be a matte. So let's put a matte on top. Use whatever matte you want. It doesn't have to be special. They do have a matte in a pot, but you don't have to use that matte. I am using Most Of's matte right this second. I'm going to show you the difference. Okay. Oh, a bunch in here again, guys. Bunch in here. All right. Oh, good, because these are matte too. All right, let's go to town with this one. Let's do some greens. Do I think you need all the alcohol inks? Yes, I do. I definitely do. Because alcohol inks are really fun to layer or to do different colors. Do you see what's happening this time? All right. Do you see it all sucked right into that matte top coat, right? All right. Then we can go to this one. Remember, put your caps back on. Do not leave an ink with the top off on your desk. I promise you will not like the results, because it will definitely, at some point, it's going to spill. All right. Let's do blue too. I'm just going to lay these on here, guys. All right, and then we are going to use the acetone on it. These have now sunken into that matte. They're dry immediately, and we can go to town, Okay, again, I'm using acetone. Use whatever you want. Lots of times on a mat, alcohol is not going to move these at all. Okay, but you see, already we have some fun movement going on here. All right. Just have a play. When you're moving the brush, that is creating very, very small little veins. Do you see that? So we have it heavy over here, lighter on the other side. You can always go back in and put more on. Not a problem. Or we can soften some of this up more. The biggest thing I would say when you're playing with inks, and if you're new to inks, don't overwork the nail. Trust me, it's probably a lot prettier than you think. And you can just call it a day and be done with that nail. I feel like I do want some more color over here though. So I'm just going to brush that on. And brush a little bit more of that green on there, the darker green. All right, so these are 10 different inks. Alcohol inks. All right. Always looks a little funky when you put it on, but don't worry. You just dab a little bit. Dab, dab, dab. Brush, brush, brush. Okay, acetone, tap off the excess. You do not want to flood the nail. It's not the end of the world, guys. You can do that and then go back in and fix whatever, but it's probably not what you're looking for. All right, and it'll get rid of way too much if you do it that way. All right, soften that up. Maybe soften up like this little tiny spot right here. But have a little patience when you're playing with alcohol inks. Give it a second when you're playing with areas that or you're making lines, okay? We're going to call this one done. It is already dry. We can put a top coat on it and call it done. All right. So this is much easier to do with alcohol inks than it is with water inks. They don't always blend that beautifully, so they're usually in a more abstract way. If you want to do nail marbling, like real marbles, etc., you want to use an alcohol ink. That is going to make a world of difference for like natural stone nails, etc. Like this is not the most natural colors, but you understand what I mean. Okay. Alcohol inks are the key to that. You can also get pretty funky with them, even just in one color. Here. If you really load them on the nail. You see that? Do you see all those little tiny lines? Like that would show up if we put a top coat on there. Every single little tiny line right there will show up. So you could do something this simple, put a sticker on it, okay, and call it a day. Like it will show up. Let me show you. They look best with a shiny top. And look at all those lines. Do you see them? So you could do this over a cat eye. You could do this over, I mean, it's kind of dull over white, but I just wanted you to see the true color. All right. But you see that. It is way more interesting than you would think because it's an alcohol ink and it does that. Okay, it holds that line and makes that cool little mark. All right. Now, let me show you this because we did this. Let's do a matte top coat over this because I want to use the inks on these little tiny flower areas. All right, and make them way cuter. All right. I think that's on there evenly. Sometimes my lighting is hard when I'm filming with you guys. All right. And let's just do this. Okay. So I'm going to wipe this one. Let's say I want a little bit more of a wild look. This does not have a matte on it. We're just wiping it with isopropyl alcohol to get the inhibition layer off. You don't really, you don't really have to do it. Let's use the purple. All right. Let's say we want this to be a little funkier. All right. You can easily change the look of a cat eye by adding ink to it. Okay. Very, very easily. What do you use to make the flowers? So I use this to make the flowers. It's called Perfect Color White. Okay, so this is Perfect Color White, Torta TM001. Okay. And you'll see it on Sweetie Nail Supply. So this time I'm just using isopropyl alcohol. All right, you see that? There are lines in this now. If you turn it, all right. Because it's not on matte, we can just touch this around the edges of where we put that ink, and it will create an interesting pattern. Okay. You can add more. We could add this blue. Let's see if that does anything too. We could add red. We could add the brown black. You see? Now it's got something else going on. Very fast way, and you can use water inks for this too, guys. Very fast way to change the look of a cat eye, or give it a border, or give it, like a little extra zhuzh, is going to be to add inks. All right, and not subtle, but it's there because we did it on a dark color. All right, now this gives that outline, and it is definitely there. All right, so here are the little tiny flowers. Here's our little crazy marble. Here's this little funky one. All right, so all we're going to do for this is take some of these inks. Again, we're going to take most of it off, all right? Because all I'm doing is like this. Just a little bit, just a tiny, tiny bit. All right, we're going to do the purple. All right, we could even do blue if we wanted to. Just putting a tiny bit in these flowers. Because then we're going to take a teeny tiny brush and we're going to blend this out a little bit. All right. And you're going to have these cool, way more detailed looking flowers, but in a really fast way. We didn't have to get any gel paints out or anything else, right? Nothing. It's on matte, so it's not going to go away. All right. It's not going to be erased because that color did sink into the matte top coat. If you tried this on a wiped surface, most of it would go away. Okay, but look, that now looks like a cool little flower. I mean, it did before, but you know what I'm talking about. This gives it a much cuter look. If you want, we could use the Mayan Bee reflection glitters again to give these like centers. Okay, you could do that. You could put that somewhere. But now these look like much cuter little flowers. All right, it's fine if it even goes outside the line a little bit. Don't stress. All right. Or you want to keep some more white, some less white. All right. It's a very, very easy way. And then once we were done, we're going to put the top coat back on. It's already done, by the way. That's another thing. Inks are fast. They dry quickly, especially if they're over a matte top coat. All right, and once we put this back on, the top coat, you're going to see a little bit of that cat eye. All right, soft, subtle cat eye. And these cute little flowers. Oh my gosh, it's after 1. What the heck? All right, guys, one more. All right, let me show you this red. Let's show you some orange. All right, red, orange, all right, it's fine that they overlap, okay? Completely fine. Kind of good. All right, back to the acetone. Just touching it gently. All right. Show a very cool design. Anything that you want to erase, you can. All right. Aw. Aw, thanks. I'd get nothing done. But I do it too. I love being live with you guys. I mean, look, like in seconds, right? Alcohol inks are very cool. They're very, very cool. Now I want companies to come out with like a million browns, a million blacks and grays, and like natural colors too. Because listen, we didn't even get into the fact that if you use the potted gels and you make like some cute little potted gel, like nuanced designs, then you go in with the inks, right? It's a whole nother ballgame. I hope this brought some like specifics to you guys today to give you a little bit a better idea of what you can find in these products. Okay. And what series might most, like, look at those, guys. Look at those little cute little snow blossom ones. All right. So whatever appeals to you. Again, if you have questions, let me know. All right. I'm going to save this. And then you guys know where to find me. Okay. Sweeties will save it. They'll put it up on YouTube. All right. But always know you can ask me questions. And thank you. Thank you for hopping on with us. And I'm sure I'll see you next week. All right, guys. Have a good rest of your week. Have a great weekend. And I'll talk to you soon.